Hello, everybody. Why are we so zoomed in? I don't know what's happening. We're gonna fix it. Come on over.
This is how I'm feeling on the Wednesday of the first week back to work.
Right? Completely. Comment moderation. I don't know what that means.
Only comments will be shown follower. Oh.
Okay, we're just learning about the Facebook rules. We don't need any of that stuff. Okay, we're just going to ignore it, and we're going to go. Well, hi, everybody. It's great to see you. What's happening with this? We're going to try that.
Hello.
There. Hello, everybody. Well, I bet you can guess what the very first announcements are.
Me? Brett?
Yeah.
Okay. And... oh, we're in a new office. Jeez.
I feel like I need a snack.
I'm a little slow on the uptake. Yeah, have you eaten anything yet today?
Shelley, being the amazing woman she has, brought me a half of a smoothie.
Oh, she split one with you. A
Smoothie.
I'll be having a smoothie today.
Having a smoothie.
Okay. Well, see, Shelly's always taking care of us.
I know. And it was actually my favorite kind.
What kind is your favorite kind?
Oh, the sunset.
Oh.
I forget what it is. It's kind of an orange banana something or other. Strawberry banana.
I had
orange.
a lean machine, which has Energizer in it, which I needed. So
I was going to say, I don't know if it's working.
No, believe me, from this morning, it's working, sadly. This is it working.
This is it working.
Okay, so Rachel's looking up our announcements, but while she's doing that, I will say to you, snaps for our new employee, Brett McHugh. Brett joined us just this week, actually, and we're very excited to have her on board to help us with client relationship development and management.
I went into her office today and caught her watching our videos, so bless her heart for suffering through that.
I told her she's going to be really sick of hearing our voices.
I know, that's what I said. I'm like, are you sick of hearing our voices yet? She's like, no, it's going great. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Bless your heart.
Yeah, and we are moved into new offices, not our new office building. That is slated to be done sometime this
late summer,
fall.
we're hoping.
Yeah. But
did you hear that? Pidgey design.
Did you hear that? Universe and bank and
all the other
aligns.
These happen stars to align.
Yeah, but in the meantime, we are very, very, very happy to be in offices with doors.
It's glorious.
And windows.
Yes.
Of our own, actually.
Our own.
Our other office had doors and windows too, but
they were shared.
Yeah.
They were shared. Yes, Meg kept announcing what she was doing on Monday. I'm closing my door. I'm going into Shelley's office that's not mine.
Yes, to have a meeting.
Not in my office.
Yes.
It was fabulous.
Very excited.
Yeah, it was very exciting.
So that's...
All right, so Helix is next. Helix Teams. Be sure to get your crew into Helix Teams. Starting right before the end of the year, we decided we would discount groups into Helix so that you could get your team in for 2021 planning, figuring out how you're gonna rock star the heck out of 2021 with your people, or maybe even who you might want to hire, or all those sorts of things. So 2021 is going to be massively amazing. We just had our mastermind meeting with the incredible people in there, and there were some amazing words for 2021, all of which were positive and hopeful and excited for what was to come in 2021. So that's part of our promo for you to help get a good start on 2021. So check it out.
Nice. Okay, weekly quote. This is my quote, and I think it's so true, and I love it. People are a little like barbed wire fence.
I can't wait. I don't know if I know this one.
Oh, yeah. You can stretch a wire so tight it'll break. It might do its best work right before it breaks, but it'll still break. Be mindful about how you manage and communicate expectations to your folks.
The thing, Meg is the queen of analogies. It's like,
I am the queen.
you are the queen. You are the queen. And that is amazing because the thing I love about this analogy is that when the barbed wire breaks, when you're tightening it, who gets the worst of it?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
the person doing the tightening.
Yeah.
Because that shit springs back and it gets you hard and sometimes in very bad ways. So.
Yeah. Yeah. And makes a huge mess for miles.
Yeah, and then you have so much more work afterwards because
Yeah.
you had to just tighten that damn thing just too much. And then you've got more work, more hassle, injuries, and wasted time.
Yeah.
I love it. That's a really good one. I mean, it might not resonate with anyone else besides like 10 people in the world that still put up barbed wire fence, but that's a good one.
We can put it in the new book.
The new book, yeah. I know. For those of you who don't know, which is no one but us.
Which is everyone.
Which is everyone on the planet. I think I may have mentioned it in Brett in passing today. Yes, I think 2021 is book number 2 year. So I have it on my to-do list to start coordinating all of the things that need to happen. So it's going to be a fun one. I feel like we can be a little more relaxed about it.
Fluid.
I mean, we already have all of our stuff in the universe, so people don't like it. They already know they don't like it. So I feel like the imposter syndrome will like just go way down.
Yeah. Yeah. Virtually none.
Plus, we've been like, I think in 2021, we had 52 clients.
2020, you mean?
Yeah, sorry, 2020. We had 52 clients alone. And so we have done this over and over and over again. So I feel like we have just a ton of credibility and experience in this area. So
Yes.
it's going to be really fun to put it all in a book that's fun to read and exciting. All right. Let's see.
Yeah, that's for you. And I don't do this. This next thing.
Oh, the journaling?
Yeah. That's not.
No,
a thing
this
I
is
do.
definitely.
I don't pretend like I do
This
it.
is all Shelley, for sure. If I have an app, I sometimes track things, but very hard for me. Very hard for me to track things.
I'm not a journaler. I'm not good at it. It makes me feel too vulnerable and exposed in ways that actually don't serve me.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I'd rather just talk about it out loud with someone.
Say the words. So, Shelley, so what we did in 2020 was we had what do you call those things, Shelley? There's not really a journal, but it's a planner.
Yeah, that's it.
We had a planner. And so we had a place to journal every day. And I did kind of like having a theme or at least something to think about. So even if you're not a journal writer, having challenging questions put to you, I think is always a good exercise. So Shelley is challenging you to journal this year. You can always we do a writing prompt or a thought prompt every week. And so if you miss a week, you can always go back because Shelley is amazing and she puts all of our videos out on YouTube afterwards. So,
and if you don't want to use that, I know one thing that does cause me to want to write once in a while is reading a quote. Mm-hmm. So like if you're thinking of a word, like if your word of the year happens to be rise and you're thinking of that, then you can look up quotes about rise and then you can journal about that. That's another way to do it. That's fun.
Yeah, well, and especially thinking about this barbed wire analogy, which I'm digging. All right, so our weekly writing / thought prompt is what is your word for 2021 and how are you using it to help set up your January intentions? So your word is rise. Mm-hmm. How are you using it to set up your January intentions?
Well, I'm gonna change up my workout regimen, I think, a little bit in January. My body's getting a little bit used to what I'm doing, and so.
Isn't it funny when it starts getting just a little too easy?
Yeah, well, I'm not ever sore anymore. I mean, other than my knees, but I think that's arthritis.
That's just getting old, lady.
Yeah, so that, I guess, is one thing in January. And the other thing is getting all of our taxes and everything done so we can buy property. So that's on the rise list.
Mm-hmm. My word of the year is celebrate. And how I'm doing that to set up January intentions is I actually was thinking similarly with all of we have prepared for tax season by paying ahead for our taxes. And so actually the thing I am most celebrating right now is that the cash I have is the cash I have. And in fact, I will probably get a small refund because we paid ahead and we're smart about how we did it. So I'm really like a lot of years, especially when you're self-employed or in a small business, you're like, okay, I have some money. I hope my tax bill's not too big this year. I hope I can keep some of it, but you don't really know, or you're really unsure. So this year we were really smart about it, worked really closely with our accountant, and we can give you her contact if you need a local accountant. She really just got us prepared and set up. So all the money in my bank account right now is mine, and I'm going to celebrate the hell out of that this year.
You should.
And I'm excited to get the taxes thing done too, because yes. I would like to also, that is going to kind of what we talked about in our mastermind, which is, a lot of success is dependent on steps in the process. So getting our taxes submitted and done and buttoned up and our 2020 numbers finalized, I think is going to really help us leverage the next thing in many ways, actually. So, all right, we'd love to know what your word is. I think we've already asked this question on one of our static things, but if you want to add it here, that would be awesome. All right, let's see. Member questions. These are my favorite. All right, I'm going to hire a business coach for 2021. I'm an entrepreneur. My current company has 20 employees. That's a lot of employees. I want to work on my communication leadership skills to help my growing team stay on track for success. I'm afraid of picking the wrong coach. Any foolproof questions to help me choose the right one for me?
Well, I guess the one I would start with is, why should I hire you? Which sounds kind of silly and like overused, but their answer will kind of speak to your gut. Because, some of them will give you the wrong answer. And then you're like, oh, that's not really what I hoped you would say. And then that might, you might put them in the maybe pile. Maybe you really like them, so you put them in the maybe pile, but their answer's not good. But there's some you're really going to not, like, don't like you, and they're also going to answer the question not in a way that's good for you, so then you can just take them off the list. So I guess that would be a question I would ask. Why should I hire you? What kind of things do you think you can help me accomplish?
I think the other thing for me, when I hired a coach, when I was at a point where I needed specific help, so when I made the jump out of doing things that I kind of knew how to do, in the sense of the process, I wanted to jump out and do more. I wanted to package the information that I was selling in a slightly different way. And frankly, I didn't know much about selling. I didn't know that's what I needed, but so I didn't hire a selling coach. But for me, I know I needed specific help. So I think if you can really tune that in. So instead of just saying, well, I need leadership or I need blah, blah, like when we work with people, we say, we work with teams through chaotic times, whether it's transitions or mergers and acquisitions or whatever. So we are really focused on teams and moving a company forward. So that's a pretty specific piece in the realm of consulting. And coaching. So try to really think about what your challenges are and then look for someone who's good at that. Because the whole idea of going to outside help is that you can get it fast, they're experts in it, and they can help you get through it as fast as possible, or at least answer your most burning questions. And then for me, the second thing I looked for was, have they helped someone like me before? Now, usually I wouldn't care as much about that, but for me, I was hiring a person that was outside of my normal sort of world. And I was worried that it would be not focused enough on the way that I work. So the other piece is, if you can get any kind of insight into, they work a certain way that you like. So the coach I got is very process oriented. She wants to show you a blueprint of how you're going to get somewhere. Now, not all of us like that approach, but that's what I needed for what I needed to do in the time I had to do it. I just tell me what I'm supposed to do and I will freaking do it. Now I might be more interested, because we're a more mature company, I might be interested in, tell me the option, like maybe finance. tell me I just want to learn about finances, then I'll make my own decision. So it just kind of depends on where you're at and how they're going to deliver it that might really make a difference for you too. So those are the things that I looked for when I hired my coach.
Yeah, I think that's I guess coming from the other side, when the coach side of the conversation, when people say, "Can you coach me?" Sure, but what do you want to learn? So I think it's really what's probably more important than knowing the right questions to ask the coaches is knowing the right questions that you need to answer for yourself before you ask them any questions.
Yeah, sometimes you can't have any idea, but at least give it a shot.
Yeah. Yes.
Sometimes you're like, I don't know what I don't know, but you probably have a sense of where you want to start.
Yeah.
And so at least then you can grow into something more complex or different as you learn more.
Yeah.
So it's good. It's good. Good recommendation. All right. Our next question. Our team is transitioning from full-time remote work back to being on-site full-time. I like it. Any advice on how to successfully transition back to office life?
Yeah, well, I would say the first thing, given the current circumstances and the reason for the changing back and forth, it would be have some process around cleanliness and safety. Not only like wash your hands and stuff like that, but actually if you're not feeling well, meaning what? Not just not feeling well, because I can have a stuffy nose and know it's allergies. And maybe Rachel never has a stuffy nose, so the moment she has one, she knows she's sick. So very specific information about what the expectations are for engaging at the workplace, and what you should do if you're sick, or if somebody in your family is sick that lives in your house, and yada yada. So I guess my mind goes there right away, number one, to clear up any questions people would have about how do we proceed. So that's boring. But that would be the first thing I guess I would think about.
Well, and it's going to be tricky because you're going to have people that want to stay home for lots of reasons, everything from health to they want to stay in PJs all day. So I think the other thing, and this is a bit of another boring answer, frankly, but it's really about setting up the structures to return. So are you now, like I have a friend who has been literally working from home as an EA, executive EA since March, has not gone back to the office in 9 months, and she has exceeded expectations. She's worked her tail off. People like her. They go to her for help. But their policy is that you can sometimes maybe work from home 1 day a week. So now what's going on is this woman who has been thriving and highly successful from home now has to go back to work, and even the 1 day a week thing they're like kind of fighting her on. So now she's like, I couldn't have performed better from home, but now you're not allowing me to work from home. There's no reason to be here. She doesn't interact directly with anyone but this one executive who is on the road all the time and never in the office. So you're going to have to think through, do we need to look at policy, and do we need to update policy based on people working from home well or not? Maybe people have been sucking working from home, and that's part of it. Maybe you need people in the office, period, end of story. Maybe there is no home, but you better have a good answer for why that is and how that's going to work.
Yeah, and being fair and consistent with your folks is really, it's hard, but it's really important, because even if, like in Rachel's example, this one woman works really good at home, but maybe Meg doesn't work good at home, but Meg wants to stay home, so you can't let that, that person stay home and not Meg. You have to be consistent, and I'm sorry, but you have to be.
Yeah, so maybe that means rules don't change, rules will change, maybe different. Like I was in an office where certain departments had different rules, so this department had to be there. They were answering phones, and they were dealing with a lot of East Coast people, so they had to be there at 7 to 4 was their core hours, but the rest of us had 8 to 5 core hours. So you can have different rules as long as you're consistent in a very specific way. Mm-hmm. So, and then as far as the team goes, I mean, that's really the tricky leadership challenge, right? Is I'm a team person. I love being in a team. I love seeing everyone's face, and that is not everyone loves to have their face seen. And so how you transition that back is going to be I think establishing routine so people know what the expectations are, giving people space, knowing they haven't had to interact 8 hours a day for the last 9 months, and that sort of thing. I think you're going to have to really tune into how to reconnect everyone, but still not be like 0 to 1,000 in one day. So that's going to be the trickier challenge for sure.
Yeah, and I think a really important thing, if you're in a leadership role, or even if you're not, just the people you're working around, is listen for cues about what people have been doing and what they're comfortable with and what they're not comfortable with, because those are the kinds of challenges that we saw earlier or last year, whereas like, well, one person's really not comfortable about COVID, and another person thinks it's not as fake news, and then there's these big arguments in the office, political arguments and health arguments about, God, you're an idiot, why would you think that? And so I think really keeping your ear to the ground about what people actually think about things is going to be important, so you can kind of help manage conversations when they come up, or maybe you just say, hey, no COVID talk, but that's pretty hard because so many people have had it in their family now, so it's
you have to be able to talk about it. That's just going to keep people sane, right?
So just being mindful that everybody's not going to come back and just be like, yay, it's over, or I don't know, yay, we have vaccine, or anyway, those things.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
tricky.
Taking things slowly, maybe buy everybody a coffee on the first day back to work. Maybe if you have 1,000 people, that's not practical, but just let people kind of roll back into it. I mean, people have been out of work away from the office for so long that it's like relearning. I mean, we were out of our office for 2 weeks, and I'm like, what's my name again? Like, why do people take me seriously? Oh, they don't? Okay, good. Well,
okay, guys, remember that. Okay. Yeah, I think it's just going to be the transition back in will be a little less nuts than the transition out, because it can be planned better. The transition out was, oh my God, everyone might die tomorrow, everyone stay home. And then it was really nuts. Well, it's still nuts because different states have different rules. If you have a company with locations in different states, God bless you and good luck, because all the states are totally different. And so it's going to be a little more messy, but it's still going to be a little messy, but it can be more measured. Take your time to make it as reasonable as possible. And to Meg's point, I tell you, potlucks and shit like that, I think people will love to do that kind of stuff once it's safe to do so and once people feel good about it. So jump in, have those kind of breaking bread together when you can. I think it's a really important and smart thing to do. Lots of caffeine, lots of sugar.
Yeah. Dope your people. That's with caffeine and sugar.
Make them happy.
Professional development books. Do you have any suggestions? This is Rachel's favorite topic. You know what?
Ours. That's the one I always say.
I had a really interesting chat with a couple of women last week. And they asked me, like, oh, what do you suggest for professional development books? And they both list off, like, the John Maxwell 21 Laws of Leadership, and I don't know, not the EQ one, but a couple of the ones that are out there.
Just kind of standbys.
And the ones that I always recommend are not actually really leadership books in the true sense of professional development. They're just about how to be a better human. So my go-to is Power, Ambition, Glory by Steve Forbes and somebody Cohen, I think. Anyway, that's the one that I think every person in the world who...
You should loan that to me. I'd like to read that.
I think I've ever read it. I think I have it on Kindle.
Oh.
I don't know that I have it in hard. I'll look when I get home.
I've seen it in hard copy. Maybe I bought it and I didn't just get it read.
Maybe I do have it.
I have seen it.
Say that.
I have seen it in hard copy. I think you have it somewhere.
Okay, I'll look. I gotta bring some books in the office anyway. So, yeah, Power, Ambition, Glory. It's a good one.
I really like, in the same vein, I like nonfiction, kind of historical nonfiction, which sounds so nerdy, but it is true. Because the thing that strikes me always is that we're always fighting the same. We think our problems are so unique, or that we have no set, like we're always surprised at shit that happens. And honestly, it is the same story. Reading about, I always go to The Big Burn by Tim something. I'll Google it quick. I'll put in the things. He's a New York Times writer, but he's Big Burn. Timothy Egan, The Big Burn, Teddy Roosevelt and the Fire That Saved America. I'll just copy and paste it right in here. And the thing I love about it is it's about fire, and then about wildfire, and then it has some politics thrown in from the forest. We have the U.S. Forest Service versus the National Park Service, and so those have two different mandates, and how did that come to be? And then it's really, if you dig deeper, it's about the politics, and then it's really about business, because it's about big companies wanting to exploit the free resources in the West before they could be privatized. And so they were all racing out to the West to cut all the trees down and use them to build their business. And so then people are like, whoa, we can't cut down all the wilderness. And that's how it all started. And so we think now, like, climate change is this big new thing and worrying about, it's like, no. It's like we've been fighting this idea of business wanting to use the free resources that then are really a benefit to all mankind, and how do you balance a good economy with the humans? Like, this is the story as old as time. And so it was so like, oh yeah, we don't, of course, this is not a new conversation. And understanding how the old conversations, like of 100 years ago now, how those mores and morality arguments still can be echoed through 100 years. Like, you see the same arguments. And then I always think, if we were in the UK, or if we were in China, or if we were in Pakistan, would the arguments be the same? Because they just have a different cultural background. Mm-hmm. And so anyway, I think you can, if you read really good historical fiction, you can really start, there's just a ton of lessons buried in there. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of like yours.
Yeah, you would like Power and Ambition.
Yeah, I'm all excited to read it all of a sudden. So, all right. And then we have our Some Good News. Yay! This is our last segment, always.
Which way?
This way. This way. Yay! Some good news. Yay! We love the good news. I have Shelley found an amazing article. It's so adorable. A couple of kids created this new way to secure ornaments to trees, because basically one of the ornaments they love fell to the ground and shattered, and they thought, surely there must be a better way. So I don't know if it was a dog involved, or I don't know. But anyway, so what they did is they invented a new style of ornament attachment so that they could not fall off the tree.
Really?
Yeah. And I haven't seen these, but apparently they've sold so many that they donated a bunch of money.
I just want to see if there's a picture. Keep talking.
Yeah, keep going. The boys make, so the title is The Boys Make $250,000 from this new ornament invention. And what they did is, and they're kids, they're so cute, they're young. Apparently this is not their first invention. They were on like Shark Tank and crazy stuff, so they're really smart and amazing kids. But they made $250,000. They started the company in 2020, and they donated 10% of their proceeds to animal shelters.
And which is a substantial amount, right? They made like $250,000.
Yeah, so $25,000.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Shelley's posting the article in the, there it is. And so it is a fun, good news story.
Yeah. So if you're feeling like you can't get the things done that you want to do, remember, there are 8-year-olds out there that are getting incredible things. So you can do the things.
You can do the things, that is for sure. And I think, if nothing else, I think that's one thing that we learned from 2020 is that there's always possibility. Like, so much crazy stuff happened, so many things changed, but still so many people And so many exciting things happened, and so many people grew, and so many companies grew, and so many opportunities were there for people. There's always opportunity. Sometimes you just gotta look in a new place for it.
Yeah, that's right.
Like Christmas ornaments.
Like Christmas ornaments.
All right. Well, thanks so much for being here. Sorry we were a couple minutes late. We were distracted by my giant new desk that my boyfriend's putting up outside in the hallway. If it wasn't for Shelly, again, we would have forgotten.
Yeah, Shelly saves the day.
Would have been too late, or more late than we were.
Yeah. So
thanks for being here. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.
All right. Lead powerfully.
Change the world. Bye, everybody. Happy
Bye.
2021. Da, 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 da.